Welcome to Mr. Brown's Basement, a channel devoted to sharing the craft of repairing, restoring, and modifying vintage electronic gear, and other random stuff. So you found yourself with an Apple IIc. From a garage sale, or found it in your basement, or maybe you received it as a gift. Congratulations, you have a piece of computer history. The purpose of this video is to answer common questions about the Apple IIc. The Apple IIc was the fourth computer in Apple's Apple II line of personal computers that came out in the late 70s and early 80s. It was on the market from about 1984 to 1988 and was a contemporary of the Apple IIe. The letter C stood for compact, which was Apple's attempt to make a lower-cost portable computer with a smaller footprint. Unlike its full-size twin, the Apple IIe, the Apple IIc has no expandability, because all the things Apple thought you might want to add to the computer are already built in. While today's computers use hard drives and solid-state drives with gigabytes or terabytes of storage, that amount of memory was way out of reach unless you were a government agency. The Apple IIc has a single 5¼ floppy disk drive, right there, with a capacity of 140 kilobytes. It's called a floppy disk because it's floppy. This window over here is where the data is written, so you mustn't touch that with your fingers. Open up the disk drive, stick the disk in, it should stay in, and then close it up. The Apple IIc does not have a display or a screen. Instead, you had to connect it to a video monitor or to a TV. This one has the LCD display for it, black and white, and extremely rare. If you have one of these, you have something which is very desirable. Normally, however, you'd need a cord like this to connect to a video composite monitor, such as the Apple Monitor 2, the Apple Monitor 3, and the undeniably cute Apple Monitor 2C shown here. Plug in the brick. The cord can only go into one place. That's where video is going to connect to. Reach over and turn on the switch at the rear left corner. That's normal for this Apple IIc. Press Control and Reset. You should get a beep, and there should be a square bracket with a blinking square on the screen. Next, do the self-test to check all the major internal components. This is going to take 2 hands. You have to press the closed Apple button, the open Apple button, the control button, and the reset button all at once. The screen will turn into multicolor squares, and the pattern will move. This is good. If it doesn't say System OK, the system's not OK. There are 3 things that you can do with an Apple IIc right now. Games, productivity, and programming. But for any of these, you really need to get appropriate discs. Original discs are available for sale on sites like eBay, but there are internet archives containing thousands of disk images that you can download and use on the Apple IIc. The method for doing that is beyond the scope of this video. It may be covered in a future video. Finally, if you don't want to play games on your Apple IIc, you may want to use it to learn programming. The Apple IIc has 2 languages built in, a dialect of BASIC called AppleSoft BASIC, and 6502 Assembler. If you're interested in learning more, getting support, or questions answered, look no further than local Apple II user groups. Google Apple II user groups. Another wonderful resource is Facebook user groups. You can ask questions and often receive enthusiastic and knowledgeable responses, often within 24 hours. If the Apple IIc is not for you,
I don't think you'll have any difficulty finding it a good home.
The value of an Apple IIc depends on the local market, the condition of the machine, and whether it is complete and if it works. An Apple IIc in good condition is one that has not yellowed, powers up properly, and hasn't got any keyboard keys missing or broken. eBay is a good place to start your research. And then there's always Facebook Marketplace, but the search results aren't quite as good. Or even Kijiji. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Mr. Brown's Basement for more interesting and unusual videos.